Neighbor, say, neighbor, I'm glad God is a restorer. For a moment today, we listen, we look, we deal with the topic. Broken, but not beyond repair. Broken, but not beyond repair. I promise if you deal with me for a couple of moments, I won't take too much of your time. But the severity of a break, or the severity of something being broken, is not necessarily determined by how bad the break looks, but rather it's determined by its possible use after the break has occurred. More often than not, when we break something, our stinging fear is that it will no longer be of any use to us. When we're caught up in this predicament where the object that's been torn or broken is no longer of any use, I think the insurance company has come up with a name for that. They call that a total loss. A total loss signifies that there is no more value to the object, that there is no more usage that we can get from this particular item. It's been messed up. It's been beaten up. It's been torn apart. And now it is in such a condition that it can benefit us no longer. Every now and then, life chances it that we experience a total loss. Something that had value in our lives breaks or is worn down so much that no matter how much we desire, no matter how much we try to put the pieces back together again, the condition is that it's so bad or messed up that it's broken beyond repair. These materialistic possessions that have been broken or have been messed up have sent some of us on a wild goose hunt, trying to find tools that could fix it, trying to find some type of glue that could piece the pieces back together again. But we found that there was no way we could salvage it because it was broken beyond repair. And as I think about the fragility of our own lives, I am cognizant of the fact that our brokenness extends beyond our materialistic possessions. But it's even evident in the very fabric and the most intricate details of our own lives that sometimes our brokenness can apply to our life. And we will be honest with ourselves, a lot of us in here, if not all of us, can testify that there have been moments in our life, through the duration of our life, where we felt like we've been literally broken apart. Simply, we've been worn down and we've been worn out. Our situations may have been different. Circumstances probably were not the same, but if we had to find a common thread in this building today, it would certainly be that there was a point in our lives somewhere where we felt broken. Felt like our life was tearing by the pieces. Felt like our life was destructing day by day. Felt like we had been beaten up by life, and we felt like we were being torn apart. I may not be familiar with your case. I may not know who or what was the cause of your brokenness, but that's the eeriness of the human life, is that there are so many ways that we can be broken. Could be relationships where we thought somebody loved us, and time proved that they really didn't love us how we love them. For that, that has caused some brokenness in some people's lives. It could be circumstances that have been beyond our control, where because of a downing economy, we went to work one day and we find that there was not a job waiting for us, and that could lead to our brokenness. sin that so easily encompasses us. And when we finally realize the error of our ways, or we've been in sin so much that it's killing us and we don't understand why, that could lead to our brokenness in so many ways, so many opportunities for us to be broken. But I believe that the glory of our story is that just because we have been broken does not necessarily mean we're beyond repair. I think that's why the Christian church suffers. But not only is the Christian church suffering, but I believe we lose a lot of productive members of our society because they've given up on life. Because they were confronted with a period in life where they were broken. And they did not realize that because I'm broken does not mean it's the end of my life. So they deemed them own selves. They looked at their condition and they said, I am a total loss. See, that's the problem when we try to do God's job. We don't have the authority to deem our own selves a total loss. Because I'm reminded that you don't even belong to you. For the Bible says you were bought with a price. And it's a problem we're messing up destiny when we come into a situation and we tell our own selves you amount to nothing. You're not worth anything. You are a total loss. We're trying to do a job that does not belong to us. We're trying to give a diagnosis that we're not authorized to give. So God says, you can't count your own self out. That's why I don't know how we come to commit suicide. I don't know how we give up on life, because unless God says it's over, it ain't over. Some of you say, Jackson, you don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through. Matter of fact, some of you probably saying, boy, you just 25. You ain't lived life yet. So how can you tell me that I can't call myself a total loss? I didn't say it. David said it. He said, we are the sheep of his pasture. We are his people and we are not our own. So we must be careful that in our precious moments of life, when life seems to throw its best punches at us, when the billows begin to rage and the thundering begins to roll, the lightning begins to flash, that we don't prematurely count ourselves out. Because there is no telling what God is able to do after we've been broken. And I just want to drop something on your head right quick, that sometimes God calls us to be broken in order for him to fix some stuff that's going on in our lives. Sometimes God causes us to go through something. I know that's messing what I had. What you mean? God is causing my suffering? Yeah, every now and then God has a way of reminding us who's in charge. And he says, I gotta break something for you to realize to come up and do my will. Broken, but not beyond repair. David illustrates this principle in Psalms 23. He says, he restores my soul. I dealt with those very 4 words, and I attempted to come up with 3 nuggets, 3 ideas that might be able to help us on this Christian journey. See, the idea of restoration is taking something that's been beaten up, that's been worn out, that's been rejected, and making it useful again. But common sense would suggest that in order for there to be a restoration, there had to be a point where at one time it was in original condition. There had to be a point where the thing that was being restored was brand new. There was a time in life when it was functioning just fine, when it worked just right. But throughout the course of time, that thing that was brand new, it became worn down. It exhibited signs of wear and tear. It became weak, and in some instances, it was broken. Now it needs to be restored. What David was really illustrating here is that there had come a point in my own life when my soul had been worn down. There had come a point in my life when my soul had been torn apart. There had come a point in my life when my soul was almost broken. Logically, if this had not happened, then I can't write the words, he restores my soul. So it must mean in my life, my soul is in need of a restoration. So in this act of restoring it, this is offered by the Barnes commentary. He says, restoring, David is saying he causes my life to return. When he restores me, he gives me a reason to live. Another commentary said, when David is talking about this restoration, he says he's bringing my own life back from destruction. And he causes my soul to turn away from sin, that I might not perish. But then as I delved into this 23rd Psalm, Brother Range, I had to realize who was saying this. This was David. And I've said it time and time again, this was King David. This was the David that God went to Jesse and said, I need someone to be king. Show me your sons. And you remember Jesse brought all of his other sons out. And so they said, we can't find the king in this group. Do you have another son? Says, I have one, but he's tending the sheep. He's not fit to be the king of Israel. But he said, let me see him. This was the same David who was anointed to be the king of Israel. This was the same David who was declared to be a man after God's own heart. But then it baffles me. How in the world can such a man as David need his soul restored? This is David. Saying just any old body. This King David. After God's own heart. And then it hit me. If a man of David's own caliber was bold enough, was brave enough to say, I need a restoration, then I should not be ashamed to look at my own life and admit I'm broken and I need somebody to restore me. Because we get in trouble when we try to hide the fact that we're worn down. We get in trouble when we try to hide the fact that we're in a mess. We find ourselves in trouble when we get so holy that we act like we've never backslidden before. Paul messed us all up. You know you got some folk coming to church that the fake come in